Hello and welcome to your Gemini season readings. These are done by Zodiac sign elements. The order for these readings are air, water, earth, and then fire. As always, I suggest that you just listen to the entire reading because we have all elements making up our chart. However, if you want to just listen to your sun sign, you can do that, or at least listen to your rising sign as well. If you have something in particular going on in your life that you're wanting guidance on or maybe confirmation on, then you can also look at the house of the planet that rules that and listen to that. But again, just listen to the whole thing. So here are your Gemini season readings, again in the order of air, water, earth, and fire. All right, we have our air signs. Happy birthday, Gemini. And then we have Libra and Aquarius. So it's funny because I wasn't going to use this deck and it's calling to me. It's like, no, use me. And then, of course, as soon as I pull these cards, I'm like, of course, because the imagery is beautiful and it wants to speak to us. So, like always, if something is popping out in the card to you, take note. You can always comment and I can read from the book what the artist meant by it if it's not something that I'm talking about. But my eyes went to the bear like immediately in bear energy. And then even going to the salmon below. So I'm interested to see what that says. My first thought when I saw this card was, remember, swords, they do represent air. They represent the mind, they represent thoughts, the systems, the way that we think, like the busy mind that is that of air signs, and especially Gemini, right? And the first thing I thought was, oh, it's a time to rest. It's a time to slow down. It's a time to like lean into the energy that is supporting you. And it's almost like, for me personally, my first house is ruled by the sun because I'm a Leo rising. And so I very much adhere to the sun season. And I feel like I feel like into the sun season a lot. And so when Cancer season hits, as a Cancer sun myself and a Cancer stellium, it feels like it's like everyone else is crying and losing their shit and feeling the emotions. I feel normal. It's like the one time I like, oh, I'm actually getting a break. But it feels like that for you. It feels like this is a time of like the normality where like the energy that's swirling is like kind of like what you vibe with and like what you align with. And if you allow like the stillness to, it's like this is the time that you can like really flow with it, right? And like lean into what's going on and work with the energy instead of going against it, right? So, I mean, this very much is a card of rest. It's a card of not taking much mental action. It's a card of not doing too much. My eyes are now going to where this man is laying and the thing that he's holding around his neck, like his medicine bag. And so that makes me feel like we need to be protecting our energy as well. And if I'm going to align that with the bear energy, like here's the thing. I love bear energy. Bear energy belongs to the West. The thing about bear energy is that bear energy is, I know when to work and gather and store. That way I have the capability to hibernate and rest. Okay. And so when bear energy shows itself, it says that. It says like you have prepared, you are well, you have the things that you need, or else you are going into that season where it is time for you to be, circling around this bear energy and in like, they're kind of saying like using your thoughts and being like, okay, like mapping it out. Like this is what this time is going to look like. This is what I need to do to make sure that things are peaceful and at ease for me. Like going inward and like kind of like doing this like slow mapping out of things, not saying, not doing, not acting, right? This feels like in a very internal thought process and things that are going on. Even like the rocks, like I can't wait to read about this. Like what's going these rocks that are above, and it's like there's like little sparkles and like this like the stars that are like here and here. Like there's so much happening in this card. I just love it. Yeah, but there's very much a message of like self-protection and protecting your energy. And it feels like we've opened up our mind and like we're allowing the thoughts of other people to kind of infiltrate our thoughts. And it's like, we're saying like, are these even my thoughts? Is this somebody else's trauma they're projecting on me? Is this my ancestral trauma? Is this like me just, maybe I'm an intuitive or I'm a medium and I'm super open and I'm like, these are like the thoughts of spirit. And like, this is very specific. If somebody does do some kind of work where you work with other entities, spirit, mediumship, anything like that, making sure that you're closing off your connection and some of the thoughts that you're hearing, especially negative ones or like lower quote unquote energy ones, they're not yours. Like you're staying connected to whatever entities or energies or people's energies that you're talking to. And if this is aligning to you and you're not even doing this kind of work, then definitely take the message. But it feels like these thoughts that you're having are not yours. And energy is saying we need to clear other people's out. We need to be very smart and strong with our thoughts and like not letting other people's energy in and saying like, is this mine or is this somebody else's? Like, I feel like I could keep repeating this over and over again, but heavy, heavy, strong. If you do work with some sort of spirit that you're not disconnecting, or it's almost like a hitchhiker energy where maybe you don't even realize it, maybe you don't do this work, but you are very open and you do like know that you're an open person and you're getting what's called hitchhikers, where like these, I know it sounds weird, but like energy, like, you know, like a hitchhiker in the spirit world could be like the energy of a dead person that's like attached to you, and they're kind of like feeding off of you and like using you as like a way to like, you know, be earth side. It's not like a negative, bad, scary thing. It's actually, I don't know, it sounds weird when I say this, it's kind of cool, right? But also, so like checking yourself and being like, do I have shit attached to me? Like maybe you went to a haunted place, or maybe you went to a funeral, or maybe you went around somebody that's grieving. So this feels like very strongly too, like you're very open, and you need to realize that you're very open and these things are attaching to you. So, okay, let's read what's going on. The Four of Swords. Just obsessed with this deck forever and ever. I wonder if I'll probably never remember all these meanings of what all these pictures mean. So what do the thingies mean? In the image of the Four Swords, a young man rests in his dream lodge of peace. He holds a medicine pouch of personal sacred treasures. The three bears are guardians of the lodge. Bears symbolize introspection. In the pond below swims the salmon of wisdom and inner knowing. The four downward swords are embedded in the trees surrounding the lodge, symbolizing time out from the world. The swords represent integrating the four levels of consciousness: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. The stormy night symbolizes the chaos of life left behind. Yes, it's time to take a break. It's literally like you need to give yourself permission to take a break and prioritize things for the future, so you don't always have to be living like in this chaotic time of state, right? And it's literally like the world is spiraling around you and you're like, okay, I'm in the eye of the storm, like the center of the, you know, like the calm center of the tornado, and it's like, oh, I can breathe here, right? That's kind of how they show it. So anyways, happy birthday, air signs, Gemini. Happy birthday, Gemini, air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Have a wonderful Gemini season. Bye-bye. All right, water signs. We have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I did something that I've never done before in these readings, is that I just recorded this entire reading, and it felt so discombobulated and so just off and weird that I was like, I need to stop and start again. So maybe that's the energy that we're all feeling for water signs too, right? It's like, no, I feel like I'm expressing and I'm articulating and everything I'm saying is what I'm feeling is making sense, but it's coming across and I'm like, is everybody else picking up on this? Are they picking up what I'm putting down? And it's funny because Gemini is it's communication, right? And it's talkative, it's energy, it's this and that. Even like talking now, I'm talking very fast. And it kind of feels like there's an overwhelm of a lot of things happening, and maybe like I need to like take a breath and take a step back and be like, okay, like let me get my thoughts together. Let me get my feelings together. Let me get my words together. Let me like really be tuned in and grounded down and settled, and like before I speak, right? And then I'm speaking directly from my heart. Okay. So this is the energy that's coming in for Gemini season. This heart over the woman's chest. It's like, let me find my center. Let me find my peace. Kind of like what I said to air signs about being again in the middle of the tornado where it's calm. And then when I've like shut out all the voices and the energy of other people, and I have found my own true center and groundedness, then I can speak and I can articulate the way from my heart that I need to. And this is very much about speaking from the heart right now and owning who you are, loving who you are, standing behind your words, knowing that what is for you shall not pass you, and reminding yourself over and over and over again. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. And we're going to start projecting a new story into our timeline of what is the best thing that could happen to me. Show me how great it gets. And it feels painful and it feels hard, and it feels like we have these reoccurring stories that are telling us different. And every time you have this reoccurring story that comes in and says, well, this is how things always work out. No, we're rewriting that. Not anymore. Not anymore. That's not how things are always working out for me. Show me how much better it can get. Show me how great it gets. Let me just go ahead and fill in the blank and like write the ending myself. There was a great Abraham I heard once. Actually, was it when, it might have been like when I think it's when I saw her recently or them recently at the beginning of the year in Arizona. And they talked about like, finish the story yourself, right? This guy was watching Heated Rivalry, and he was like, write it, like finish the story yourself and write yourself in as the character of love, right? And like write it how you want it to be. That's the message that's coming forward. That's the thought process. That's the way we need to move forward. This strength card is very different than the typical one because it feels very much more cosmic. It feels more like, the moon energy, the divine feminine energy, that connection to spirit, the crown on the head, the moon in the background. Like, it just feels like I'm more glowing, like my strength is coming from spirit. My strength is coming from alignment. My strength is coming from, having my crown open and having that connection and that trust that things move and flow the way that they're supposed to, right? And like, I had a little hiccup earlier today, and I have countless oracle decks, and I picked one that I hardly ever pull from, and I pulled the card, and it literally was like, bitch, if you don't chill the fuck out. And it was talking, exactly what I was worried about and exactly what I was experiencing anxiety about. And I thought, fucking Christ, Carolyn, just fucking take a chill pill. Like, out of all the decks and all the cards, like, spirit could like shoved it in your face of like, everything is always working out for you. Just accept it. I know it feels weird and off, but like you get a win because you deserve a win and you want to win and you projected a win. So take the win, right? So it's that kind of energy. And like, it's like the feeling of this card it's about staying strong in that belief it's a spirit, in that connection, in the thought, the trust, and everything I just said, in staying strong and letting your heart lead you and doing right by yourself and accepting your emotions and accepting your sensitivity and wearing your heart on your sleeve if that's who you are. But also remember that you're doing it and you are strong and you are protected and you are divinely guided and you do have this lion in front of you and you can be fierce if you need to. But like, who you are as a person is sweet and gentle and kind and loving and nurturing. And it's okay to be that person. And you can mama bear and lion and do whatever you need to, but that doesn't mean you don't have to be honest and authentic in who you are. And the snake, it sheds the skin and then it's new again, and then it sheds the skin and it's new again, and it sheds the skin and it's new again. You know what I mean? And the serpent, it kind of goes to the idea, it gives me that Kundalini type energy. If that's a message for somebody, if this crescent moon is a message to somebody too. Also, I get a lot of Beltane vibes with the headpiece and the dress that she has on. So again, if like you're wanting to work with like a Celtic or a Norse goddess and you're like, oh, that dress looks familiar. Like if there's other stuff you're picking up in this, take that too. And there's even little symbols all over the tree, the spirals and stuff like that too. So I feel like, let me see. It's just this overall message of like staying strong and not letting your emotions consume you and not letting fear consume you, but not letting the emotional overfeeling consume you and coming back to center and self and like really strong bodied empowerment in your chest that feels good. And you're like, okay, I'm in a place of calm. I'm in a place of steady. I'm in a place of sturdy. I'm in the middle of the tornado and the calm of the storm, and like I can handle these things because I can trust my intuition from here. And sometimes we have to like go center and let everything spin around us and let the emotions and the other people's shit and everything go. I mean, it's very much about coming back to yourself in a heart-centered space, taking a big deep breath, and then trusting and leading with the heart. And there's a lot of feelings, it's like feels like emotional outbursts, but also it feels like a lot of that is like not necessarily all of ours, right? Like we're carrying the weight and we're feeling and picking up on other people's energy too. And that's why, again, coming back to self is very important. So, all right, water signs. I know we just started Gemini season, but Cancer season is coming up. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Have a wonderful Gemini season. All right, earth signs, Taurus. Happy belated birthday. Capricorn and Virgo. So I feel like you guys will get a little breath of fresh air, right? Gemini season. Gemini season it's fun. Like, here's the thing. Geminis get so much hate. They get the most hate. But if you actually look at like the positive attributes of a Gemini, they're honestly like the best out of all the zodiac signs. Like fun, outgoing, talkative, communicating, good, friendly, like outgoing. Like that is the season of the Three of Cups is very much in my opinion, like that's kind of like Gemini energy, right? It's like, so we're just saying social, first off, the 3 is about like doing things together. My eyes are also going to all the colored birds up there. And it's like, have fun, socialize. Like this is not the time for hard work. This is the time for play. Like June feels like play. It feels like freedom. It feels like celebrating, Father's Day, Juneteenth, the World Cup, like whatever it is, like birthdays. Like it just feels like summer solstice, like Spirit is saying like, can we just let down and live a little? Like, I'm getting a lot of this pagan stera kind of energy earlier, and it's coming for like the same, like the summer solstice, like this energy of like ritual and having fun, and my eyes are going down to the triple moon goddess, and it just feels like there's a lot, and there's some really beautiful stuff that's going to be happening, like the transition from Gemini into Cancer season for you, and a lot of reason to like celebrate, and it just feels like we're leading up to that, and we need to be more lighthearted, and we need to be more chill, and we need to be more lax, and we need to like work a little bit less. And then it feels like there's a lot of something fun coming at the end of June. I want to read about this card. So in the image of the Three of Cups, the three maidens toast their golden chalices in celebration of a successful harvest. They are associated with the three graces, the three goddesses of beauty, happiness, and festivity. At the bottom of the images are the three cycles of the moon: waxing growth, full harvest, and waning completion, reminding you of the ever-changing tides of life. The sunflower symbolizes joy and abundance. The 7 hummingbirds represent the open chakras flowing gracefully with harmony and transcendence. The triple goddess symbol above represents the spiraling cycles of external life. It just says celebrate your accomplishments. Like, have fun. Like, it feels like heavy on the like the Capricorn hardworking, and the Taurus, like, I need to do things and be diligent, and this is how things have to be done, and the Virgo, like the hyper criticism, and it's like, just embrace it. They just keep reiterating like the energy of the solstice and the beauty and the fun and the dancing and all of that goes around that. Like, Spirit is like almost begging you to like bring in some lightheartedness and to feel the warmth. There's, feel the warmth on your body. Stop and smell the roses. Like, it just feels like there's this big invitation for a rest. Work will always be there. School will start again in August. The fall will fucking come. You will harvest. You will work. You will rest, and the winter will come, and you'll have all your fucking ducks in a row and everything stocked up because that's what you do. But it's like, this is also fire energy and season that we're coming into. And it's like, there will be a burst, and you will want to do things. And it's like this energy that's coming in, but it's like Spirit saying, use that to be social. Use it to have fun. Like, use it to literally, again, feel the sun on your body, right? Like, you cannot live in knowing these cycles and always being future oriented and doing this and that. Like, there's a moment of like just saying like, you know what, I'm going to stop the clock and I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want for the whole month of June. And the world is going to keep spinning, and everything is still going to fucking be there at the end of the day. Like, literally. I feel like this is such a shorter message than some of the other ones, because that's what it is. It's lighthearted, it's easy, it's carefree, it's a time for laughter and smiles. Like, just like letting the pleasures of life flow to you. Literally, like, it's a great time to be alive. Like, lean into that energy and have fucking fun with it. Like, and the thing is when you start to do that and you realize how good that feels, it will make you want to integrate that more into your life. And then when you realize, wow, the more I feel good, the better I feel overall. And then the other things flow to me easier, and I don't have to fucking work as hard. It's the same idea as, if I meditate for 10 minutes and start my day right, that's way more productive than doing 2 hours of work to start your day. And so it's like, once you realize and let this energy in, you will literally see that, like, wow, when I bring this type of energy to everything in my life, work isn't as hard, and I get my shit done earlier, and people are nicer at work, and I don't run into traffic here and there. And it's like, I was making, so it's kind of laughing at it. Like, you're going to realize you're making it way fucking harder for yourself than you had to. So that is it, Earth signs. Happy Gemini season, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Take a fucking chill pill, okay? My moon is in Virgo, and I agree. I need a chill pill. All right, we have fire signs, 10 of Cups, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. It's just funny because, like always, I feel like the cards kind of correlate, and the first two kind of cards kind of went together. And then we have these second two cards that are kind of correlating, not just because they're cups, but just because there's a little more like fun energy behind them. It's funny because my brain just went to the fact that June is Pride Month, and there's so many rainbows in there's just so many rainbows, even like on his outfit and his necklace. And like, I mean, their outfits are really cute. And like, what's this little girl dressed like a pumpkin almost? Like, what's happening there? The little sleeping fawn. We have the salmon down below, which we had a salmon down below in the air card as well. That's interesting. And then we have the moon in the sky, just like we had the moon in the water strength card. So they kind of correlate together. And the bird, and then we have, look at the hummingbirds. If these mean, I always point these out too, because like these can mean things. In the hummingbird, I love hummingbirds. I mean, there's such a representation of like beauty and freedom and joy and happiness. So, I mean, and that's just what it feels like this card is. You know, tens are about completion. This is the card of happy home, happy life, all is well. And it's kind of like reiterating what it was to earth signs when it's like, can we just enjoy and say all is well and like feel the joy and lean into the pride and the love and like all of those great things. And it's like, you know what it is? It gives me the idea of like, you know, and I'm just not that I'm not this has nothing to do with whether or not you're queer or anything like that. It's this the example that they're giving me, and the correlation is like, think of what a queer person who is closeted, who doesn't have supportive family, who has been shamed, who has really hidden who they are, right? And then they go to their first pride event. Imagine what that person feels like. Maybe that is you. Maybe you've had that experience before, right? And that when you finally get to fully 120%, not just be yourself, but be in a space with other people who have experienced what you experience, who feel how you feel, who know what it's like, who don't just accept and love you for who you are, but also are that type of person, right? And it's a different experience, right? Like that energy of whatever that correlates to you and whatever that means to you and whatever that feels like, it's like being in that space. But also it seems like there's a little bit of acceptance that needs to be done. Like, can you just accept that there are parts of your life that are great and wonderful and it's okay? It's almost like somebody needs to hear like that it's okay to be happy, because I'm going to read a little bit from her book. Because it's so funny. The first line says, it's one of the most joyous and happiest cards in the tarot. There is deep love and contentment radiating from within you out to the world. Your grail is flowing over with peace and love. Wealth on all levels, material, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, has been achieved. But the inner wealth of deep spiritual understanding is what brings the most happiness. You are walking your dharma, and the joy that brings your heart is magical. The key to the Ten of Cups is self-love. That's so interesting. That kind of correlates to what I was saying. Finding your inner grail of fulfillment. The Ten of Cups brings great gratitude for all things in life. You feel as though you have returned to your true home. The gift of the Ten of Cups is happiness and fulfillment. So that authenticity and coming back to who you are and feeling it and accepting it. And again, it feels like June, and this feels even like in the second half of Gemini season, it feels this very much like, oh, I feel so good in my skin and I feel so happy to be here. Let's read about the imagery. The family is in a peaceful setting representing a balance between nature, man, and spirit. The stream symbolizes our subconscious, always shifting and moving. The woman sits with her sleeping young son, gazing into the stream, knowing that this moment will pass. The fish coming out of the cup is the unconscious wisdom awakening to the spirit. I'm skipping ahead. The white rose of purity and the golden hummingbirds of joy. The mother deer watches her. The deer symbolizes love, compassion, gentleness. The small rabbits around the children represent trust and security in their environment. The white butterfly trails a rainbow. The bridge that connects them to spirit. Let's see, the deep violet around the rainbow is the color of the crown chakra that is totally open to the divine light, creating transformation. White butterflies enjoy hummingbirds, right? I just kind of skipped around. So again, if those things are sticking out to you, this feels so good too, and it feels like a breath of fresh air, and it feels like all of these things that you want, and this happiness and this joy and these dreams and these things you put on your vortex, they're just like on the edge, and spirit just says like, just creak open the door and let them in. And there's a level of like needing to accept, and it's like I can't tell you what that is and like why you're not accepting or why you're not letting the joy in or why you're not letting the love in. And it's Spirit's like, fuck it, you know what I mean? This is the lifetime you're in right now. This is the one go around that you get for this body, this soul, this experience, these people. Like, the fuck's gonna happen? Just fucking do the damn thing. Live the life. Hope for the best. Assume the best. Put yourself out there. Like, just go for it, right? Like, what's gonna happen? Even if it doesn't work out, you know what? You had the experience, you learned something great from it, and you're gonna fucking go at it again. Because again, this is the life that you have right now, and you came into this body, into this experience to live that fucking life and be authentic in who you are and be who you are and love who you are and do that. Like, there's so much encouragement to just show up 110% authentically yourself. I can just feel it in my body. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love it. My Leo rising's like, yes. So fire signs, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius have the most wonderful, abundant, beautiful, spiritually connected, divine, feels so fucking good Gemini season. Thanks so much for being here, and don't forget to go check out my May readings as well.